I love anal. Lysis. I also love Berserk. It's one of my favorite manga to date and has some of the most beautiful and horrifying illustrations I've ever seen. I mean, the things author Kentaro Miura can do with a pen and pencil is almost unreal. But I'm not here to talk about that. If you want to learn more about why Berserk is so amazing, then check the description for Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on it, as he can give way more insight than I ever could. Plus, I'm a patron if you see right there. And he's also got a very sexy British accent. What I'm here to do is give you a tiny little analysis for the intro of the beautiful 1997 series of Berserk. By the way, spoilers for the Golden Age arc.
Griffithsu did nothing wrong.
The Golden Age is the best
Talk about how shit the
arc.
new season's gonna be.
like,
They're doing the
honestly,
Berserker
no
armor. It's gonna suck dick, just like the 2016 one did.
Hey, shut up! Now, let's put our grasses on and begin with this fantastic anal. And don't worry if this is your first time, because I'll be gentle.
Do you want to making Berserker? Berserker.
We start with zooming out cuts of Guts' right eye, followed by Guts' skin color slowly being replaced by flames. The focus on his eye foreshadows him losing it during the eclipse, while the fire represents his inner rage and bloodlust. You could say his inner Berserk. Alright, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next one. Next, we have Guts swinging his sword, which informs the audience that the main thing that Guts knows how to do is fight. The screen then flashes red and white before going black and transposing a title in red, emphasizing the ever-present dark themes within the show and the bloodshed and ultra-violence seen throughout it. As a small side note, the only other anime of note from the studio that made this gory, fucked up masterpiece is Pokemon. I'll leave you to marinate on that one. We next get a panning shot of the tree Guts was born from. If you didn't know, all these are prostitutes who were hung, and Guts literally fell from one of their wombs when he was born, sort of making him an unbelievable badass that rose from absolutely nothing. And the next shot we get affirms this by panning up to Guts with a Dutch angle to show how far he's risen. It's also framed in such a way to make it seem like Guts is teetering off the edge of a cliff and may fall at any moment, which mirrors Guts' battle for survival. It feels like throughout the show he could die at any moment, and he only barely wins all of his battles. The animated sky in the background reflects the ever-changing world around Guts, because while he is the main character, the world always shifts no matter what he does. We then cut to Guts' left eye, representing his inability to unsee the eclipse, followed by Guts plunging into battle, because there's nothing he loves more than a good old-fashioned massacre, if you know what I'm saying. We are then shown some blood splatter on screen, again to emphasize the violence of the show, followed by a montage of Guts showing different expressions, intercut with a flower burning to symbolize the emotional heart at the center of the show. Because while I love watching a burly dude murder grotesque atrocities with a giant-ass sword as much as the next guy, the emotion and the interaction of the characters is what keeps me coming back to watch a burly dude murder grotesque atrocities with a giant-ass sword. The ending pan from Guts' eye to him walking a solemn path of darkness emphasizes him as the protagonist and foreshadows the solitary path he walks after the end of the series. And as a quick side note, it reminds me of this image right here that appears right at the very end of the Golden Age. It's kind of like basically the final image of the Golden Age. Even the song in the theme has meaning, as it represents Guts and Griffith's relationship. Because if the two of them talk to each other instead of being a couple of pansies, then maybe shit wouldn't have gone so south for them. Yeah, I know, like, causality has other plans and bullshit and whatever, fucking fandom theories, but I mean, it would have at least helped. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you thought this was the dumbest thing you've ever seen, then please show this to your friends so you can all laugh at how shit I am at anal. What?